In this video, I'm going to be talking about three major concepts. So if these three major concepts like resonate with you, or this is something that you were expecting, then you can keep watching. Otherwise, I don't want to waste your time. Topic number one is, firstly, I want you to determine what exactly you want and how to get it. In this section, I'm going to talk about your purpose. I'm going to talk about the things that you want right now, how to set goals and how to achieve them. Like I'm going to go extremely detailed. This is going to be the most detailed section of this video. The second segment that I'm going to cover is going to be habit building. So once you know what your purpose is, once you know the actionable steps in order to achieve your goals, once you know the exact things that you need to do every single day in order to become a high value man, whatever your goal is, then you need to build habits around those actionable steps. So you do them repeatedly every single day without the need for motivation or any external bullshit like that. So that's step number two. Step number three is going to be mastering consistency. Because unless you do these things consistently, you cannot be expecting any sort of results. Because compounding happens over a long period of time. And in order to do something over a long period of time, you need to have it built as a habit, and you need to be doing those habits consistently. So if these topics sound interesting to you, if this is something that you want to learn, then keep watching this video. Basically, this video is going to be everything that you need in order to turn yourself from a boy into a man, because now you're going to take actual responsibility of your life. Finally, you're going to take the reins of your actual life instead of being dependent on someone else to make your decisions for you, and instead of being dependent on someone else to lead your life in the right direction. You can finally take control or take hold of your own life. That's what real men do. Secondly, I want to emphasize that this guide is going to be very detailed and very informative. There's going to be a lot of value in it. So I want you to grab a pen and paper or grab a notebook, because you won't be able to remember everything that I say. I want you to take notes and write down everything that you feel is important, because you will 100% forget most of these things. And because this is going to be a long video, I don't expect you to come back and watch this video all over again. Instead, just make notes. That is going to be the most important step. You're going to have like an edge over most of the people that are not even going to watch this video till the very end. So you'll actually be more likely to take action. So stop being a bitch, grab a pen and paper, and let's get into the video. So how to determine what you actually want in life? Just imagine I'm in 12th class right now, and my board exams, like my 12th board exams, are just a few weeks out, like 1 or 2 weeks out. And right now it's like 3 a.m. at night, and I'm studying like furiously. I'm solving question paper after question paper, and I'm sort of in this like deep work flow mode where I don't really have any sense of what the time is. I didn't even know it was 3 a.m. I started studying when I was like 9 or 10 p.m. And I just continuously kept doing question paper after question paper and reviewed my mistakes. And I was doing that for a lot of hours now. And suddenly I found myself staring into the wall right in front of me. And I caught myself doing this, and I just got scared of my fucking self, because what the fuck was I doing? Like I had exams in like 1 or 2 weeks, and I was like fucking staring at the wall. I did this for like good an hour and a half. I asked myself, what the fuck was I doing? I thought I was immune to the 9 to 5 mentality, but the education system had trapped me. You see, after I'd given my 10th board exams and scored like great marks, not great, like I got 80% marks, but that was exactly what I was aiming for, and I got exactly those marks. So I was pretty happy with myself. So because I was rewarded for my hard work, yet again, I was here working exceptionally hard. But in 10th class, I was studying hard because I wanted to prove to myself that I can work hard, that I can study hard. I didn't want my parents to be disappointed in me, because I never scored good marks ever. It's 12th standard right now. And right now I was studying hard because I wanted to, like, my thought process was, if you get good marks, you're going to get into a good DU college, Delhi University College. And although I didn't think any further of that, but you can understand that I wanted to get into a good DU college because subconsciously I wanted to get into like a good paying job, right? So even though I was not directly aiming for a 9 to 5 job, that was still like I still despised that. I was still like subconsciously, indirectly working hard towards that, right? I felt ashamed of myself because of how much I had swayed away from my own beliefs and my own values. Because I was doing exactly what I would preach others, like my friends and my younger brother, not to do. I believed that I was capable of doing more than just a 9 to 5 job. I believed that I was capable of helping young men. But instead, I was studying exceptionally super hard to get good marks at a traditional education school. The education system had trapped me. How the fuck am I going to sustain this? How am I going to be studying this hard and more for 3 straight years, like in college? I can barely study like this for a couple of months before I need an entire year off. While I was studying for my 10 board exams, I studied for barely 3 or 4 months and I got 80% marks. And then I needed an entire 11th class, 11th standard off. Like I did not study a single page. And that is something that I needed in order to fuel me with motivation to be able to study for a couple of months. How was I going to study for 3 years straight? It was unsustainable. What I was working so hard towards was unsustainable. I had swayed away from my path. So I grabbed the nearest piece of paper that I could find and I wrote a question down. A question that I believe was the most important thing I had ever journaled about or asked myself about. A question that I believe will probably solve most of your problems that I listed out earlier. The question was, what do I want? A very simple question. And you're probably coping right now. You're probably thinking, I already know what I want, bro. You don't know what you want. Like, be serious. Whatever your goal is, whatever your want is it going to fulfill you? Can you do that for 40 years for the rest of your life? And is it still going to fulfill you? Are you still going to be happy doing it after you're retired? After you have made enough money that you can live off of that money, will you still be doing it? Be honest with yourself. Most likely you're not. Like right now, what I'm doing, I'm fulfilling my purpose. I'm helping young men that are just like me. And I'm going to help them for the rest of my life. I'm going to keep doing that. Money or not, I don't care. Like if money was out of the equation, I'll still be doing this. I'll be doing this after I'm retired and after I have all the money that I want. I'll still be making YouTube videos and helping young men. This is my purpose. This is what fulfills me. This is what wakes me up in the mornings. What is your want? What is your desire? What do you actually want? If that's a hard question for you, if for some reason, whatever reason, you're just not able to fathom if you're not able to fathom a purpose or a career path that fulfills you, here's a different question that I need to ask you. What is something that you absolutely cannot have? What is something that you absolutely don't want? What is a life that you would run away from that you hate? For me, it's the mediocre middle class 9 to 5 job life. Married to an average woman, have a 9 to 5 job with an average pay, a house with lot of home loan, kids that don't listen to me. That is the life that I despise. That is the life that I do not want. That is what I'm running away from. So if you're not really able to answer the question what you actually want, I want you to answer the question what you do not want and go really into depth with that. But for most people watching this, you probably don't know what your purpose is. You probably don't know what you actually want. Do you? If you do, if you're too cocky and you believe you know what you want, by all means skip this section, go to the next section where I'm talking about habit building and consistency. But most likely you don't know what you want. Most likely you like okay, this is what I thought earlier on. This was my first draft or my first answer to this question of what do I want. And if you're journaling right now, writing down something similar to this, then just know that you're wrong. I wrote I want a beautiful life. I want to make lots of money. And I want a happy and comfortable family. That's all. That is not a clear enough path. That is not a clear enough goal or a desire that you will be like waking up early in order to do the work. That's not it. That's a good framework. That's a good start. That's not the right answer, basically. When I say that I put aside all of my studying, I just put aside all of my books and all of my stress of the exam, and I focused on this one question for the next 1 week. I am I can't emphasize more on how important this one question was, because I understood this is what is going to dictate my life. This is what is going to dictate how I spend the next couple of years of my life building the life that I want. So I really want to emphasize that this one question is going to determine everything in your life. So be very, very serious about this. While I was spending the next 1 week thinking, journaling, and just stressing over this one particular question, I asked myself a lot of branched questions that would further help me solidify this belief or further help me create the answer to this one question, solve this one puzzle. What do I want? You're going to have to determine these questions for yourself. You particularly are going to have to ask yourself a different set of questions than I am asking. But these are the questions that I believe are more generalized and will help you the most. But these are not all the questions that you're going to be asking. These will, however, nudge you in the right direction. So I want you to write down these questions in your journal or in your diary and start answering them in detail. Write as much as you can. There are no wrong answers. Just write as much as you can, be as detailed as you possibly can. Write them down as you're trying to explain your feelings to a 5-year-old. Be that detailed, be that clear. Question number one is, what would you do or become in terms of your career choice if money didn't exist at all? So, just to be clear, if we were living in a world where money didn't exist, it was just based off values. So, if you provided a lot of value to the society, you were deemed as a respectable person, and just people just gave you stuff for free. You go to a shop, you can buy anything you want from that shop because you're basically providing value to society. The guy knows you as a good guy. So you go to a restaurant, you can eat whatever you want for free because the person knows that you're providing value to society. So your worth is determined by the value that you're providing. If this was the society that we lived in, what is something that you would be doing? That's question number one. Question number two is, what do you want your sons to know you as in terms of like your influence as a person? Again, let me explain further. Every masculine man or every man in general wants a son. Let's be very real. Like I want a daughter, sure, but I also want a son because a son would be like just I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like having a son just seems so awesome. It's like me, but like a younger version of me. So I can mold him. I can teach him into liking the stuff that I like, so we can do everything together. I can teach him the sports that I liked. I can teach him how to be a high value man. I could just it's like my own little art project. I don't know if you're like that excited about having sons or not. Maybe it's just me because of the books I'm reading about philosophy and stuff. But I'm like really really excited about the concept of having sons. So I'm not saying like sons are better than daughters or any bullshit like that. I'm not going in that direction. I'm just saying as a man, you do want a son, right? What would you want your son to know you as? Would you want him to know you as a 9 to 5 loser who comes home drunk and beats his wife? Do you want him to know you as someone that is fat and flabby, that cannot participate in the that cannot participate in the school function where the parents are supposed to race with their children? Or do you want to be known as the cool dad of let's say Bablu. Let's say his name was. Let's say your son's name is Bablu, right? Do you want to be known as the cool dad of Bablu, who's all of their friends are like really impressed with you? They look at your biceps and they're like my father, and they're like, I wish my father had those. Bablu's friends look at you and they look up to you as a role model. Bablu's friends wants to be like you. Bablu wants to be like you. Is that something that you want? Question number two. And be specific, by the way. This is like a generalized image that I gave you. Like you want to be muscular, you want to be masculine, you want to be you want to be extremely high value, you want to be rich, famous. All that stuff is great, but like, what do you want to be known for? Bablu's father does what? That's question number two. Question number three is, what do you want to do for the society? What is something that you care about, that you think is wrong in the society, and that you believe you can fix, even if you have a skill deficiency right now? But you believe that if the skill deficiency can, because skills can be learned. Let's be very honest. Like you can spend some time learning a particular skill and you will learn it. Okay, everything is a skill, everything is learnable, everything takes time though. So you can learn anything. What is something that you want to fix in the society? For me, it's like, it's the generation that I'm in. I don't believe that I'm superior to the generation by any means. I just believe I'm going in a different direction than most men in my generation right now. And I do believe that within the next 10 or 20 years, there's going to be a wave of extremely pathetic and weak men. And there's going to be a very few men who's going to be at the fucking top, masculine, muscular, high value, rich, ultra rich. And these are the men that are going to control the entire generation. I do believe that I'm going in the direction of this rather than this. And I want to take as many men with me in this direction as possible, because I believe that's the contribution I can make to my generation, to my society. What is something that you can do as well? This doesn't have to be something noble. It doesn't have to be that. If you want to be an entertainer, you can start vlogging stuff. So it doesn't really have to be something that it doesn't have to be a noble cause, but it has to be something that you're passionate about, something that you really care about. So right now I have a skill deficiency. Am I making YouTube videos? I'm not really great at making YouTube videos, so my videos are not really reaching a big audience. You can imagine. So by all means, I have a skill deficiency. It's gonna take time, but I'm 19 right now. So the sooner you make this decision, the better it is for you, because it's going to take time learning that skill anyway. If you start sooner, you're gonna be there sooner. It's just common logic. It's just common sense. It's logic. Question number 4 is, what problem that you can solve for the very specific set of people that you care about the most? There is going to be a set of people that you care about a lot. And most likely it's going to be like your exact avatar. So, or the avatar you had like a couple of years ago, couple of months ago. Let me explain. 2 years ago, I was unattractive. I was skinny fat. I was confused about my career. I was confused about my purpose. I was unaware of the actions I need to take in order to become the man that I want to become, the best version of myself. That became my dream avatar. These, you're not unique. Just so we're clear, you are not unique person. Everything that has happened to your life has probably happened to a lot of people. Maybe not exactly the same, but very similar. All the beliefs that you have, all the values that you have are very similar to a lot of people. You are not special. You're extremely common right now, because you haven't really swayed away from the common path right now. My dream avatar are people just like I used to be. Right? So people that are confused about their career purpose, that are not as attractive as they want to be, that are not as muscular, they don't have their dream physique. People who have problems like this are my target audience. These are my target people. These are people that I can help the most, because this is the person that I used to be, and I have helped myself become let's say, a better version of myself. I have solved a lot of these problems, so I can help solve them for other people that were just like me as well. I want you to determine your own avatar as well. Determine who that person is for you. Most likely, it's just going to be your past self. But if it's not, if it's your current self, if you're learning stuff and you want to teach stuff just as you go, it can be your current self as well. So determine what kind of people you want to help, what set of audience, what set of people you want to help as well. That's question number 4. Question number 5 is, what is something that you've done that you're proud of or haven't done but want to do, like improve your looks, let's say, or improve your physique? This is going to determine what your value provision is going to be like. So what kind of what kind of value are you're gonna provide to the society? We already have covered what you want to change in the society, right? What you want to change in the population. This question is going to determine how you're going to change that. Cool. So here you're going to list out all the things that you're proud of, that you've accomplished and you're proud of accomplishing. So for me, these are a lot of things. I set a goal for scoring 80% marks in my 10 board exams, and I did exactly that. I don't talk a lot about it, or maybe I do a lot, or maybe I do, but I don't like talking a lot about it. I don't like making specific videos targeting this because I don't really believe in studying and the traditional education and stuff. So I don't really want to push people in a direction that I don't believe in myself. That's number 1. Number 2 is I improved my physique within a year a lot. Number 3 is I believe I enhanced my looks a lot. Number 4 is I believe I discovered my purpose and I'm on the right path or on the right journey of fulfilling that purpose. Number 5 is I created a YouTube channel and I'm soon to reach 1000 subscribers. That is also an achievement that I'm really proud of. Number 6 is I have mastered discipline and consistency. I've been posting twice a week for, I believe, 6 months now. And I've been working out every single day for months and months straight. I wake up almost every day at 5 a.m. and work on myself, work on my business and my YouTube channel. So I've, in my opinion, mastered discipline and consistency. These are a few things that I'm really proud of. And there's more, but these are basically the stuff that the major areas where I believe I've done a good job and I can help other people reach the success that I reached as well. Determine what these things are for yourself. If you haven't done anything at all, which is completely okay, absolutely fine, unless you're not really planning on achieving anything at all. If because I couldn't say all these things 2 years ago or even a year ago. I set goals, I took action consistently, I built habits, and then I achieved all these things. So there's a system that I'm going to teach you, by the way. But if you haven't yet achieved anything that you're proud of, that is not really that meaningful, then I want you to pick some things that you want to achieve and then we'll work towards that. That is also okay, but determine what you want to work towards right now. These are going to be the values that you're going to provide to the society or the people that you really care about. Or even if you haven't like determined what you want right now, haven't determined the goals that you want to achieve, that's still fine. I'm still going to help you. Question number 6, and this is extremely important. What are the traits of your future wife? Don't just click off right now. This is extremely fucking important. I know this sounds goofy, but this is very important. What are the traits of your future wife? What kind of man would she want? Or what kind of a man she would definitely not want? This question is, in my opinion, the most important out of all of these. Most men are driven. Most men are driven because they want a good woman by the side. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting a gorgeous, good looking, beautiful wife with a hot body that is high value, that is driven, that has the similar goals than you, that is not jealous, not insecure. Wanting all those things is not wrong, is not bad. Weak, pathetic men these days of this generation will tell you that you should not be asking for all these things. That's absolutely bullshit. If you're a weak ass man and you yourself don't have any values to provide to the woman in exchange of wanting all these things, then absolutely you should not be asking for these things either. But if you believe you're a high value man, or if you want to be going in the direction of becoming a high value man, then you 100% should have a standard. Without a doubt, my standards these days are so fucking high that I genuinely am struggling to find a woman. I'm not really actively looking either, so maybe that's the reason I'm not really able to find a woman. But because earlier I didn't have a standard, and I was like, I had all the women that I wanted. But now that I have actual standards, now that I don't really date any woman that I want, I'm actually not able to find every woman that I want. I'm not really able to find a lot of women, and that's okay by me. That's fine. If I'm only be able to date like top 1% women, I'm happy with that. If that means sacrificing on being able to date like 99% of women, I am genuinely happy with that. I'm stoked. So you need to determine for yourself what kind of a woman do you want. Even if you don't want to think in terms of your future wife, even if you don't want to think in terms of your future wife, just think, what kind of a girlfriend do you want? What kind of a long-term girlfriend do you want? That would really make you happy. That would be like ideal for you. Like, what are the traits that you want? Definitely, like, these are the basic things that you want to have. If you don't have these standards, then bro, you're just fucked, bro. You're gonna be unhappy, you're gonna be sad, and you're gonna be suffering in a relationship if these are not your basic requirements. Firstly, she needs to be hot as fuck. She needs to have a beautiful face as well. Second, she needs to be driven, and she needs to have similar goals to you. She needs to have an opposite personality. That means, if you're a masculine man, if you want to become a masculine man, if you're going to become a masculine man, she needs to be a feminine woman. And that happens automatically, by the way. If you're naturally a masculine man, then the woman in front of you is naturally going to be submissive, is naturally going to be feminine, is naturally going to be like loving and caring and all that stuff. That naturally happens. That's like their basic instincts. If they find a high value masculine man that is respectful, that is fit, that takes care of his looks, that takes care of his business, that is driven, has a purpose, is fulfilling that purpose. If she finds that in a man, she's automatically going to become more like a ideal feminine woman. But if you don't want to go through the process of clashing with a masculine woman, then ideally you would want to find a feminine woman in the first place. So these are the three important steps that every man should look for. Like, every man should be going for these things in a woman whatsoever. Next are like, obviously she should not be a drinker, she shouldn't be a smoker, she should be like, she should have faith in God. That's also good to have in a woman. She should not be like a party animal. She should not be going at parties every other day. She shouldn't have tens and hundreds of male friends. You know what I'm talking about. So these are all the traits that you should be looking for on a woman. This is general baseline. This is where you start, and you build on top of this. You should have 100% standards. There are a lot of women on this planet. 50% of all creatures on this planet, like all humans on this planet, are women. There are a lot of women out there. You're going to find your own partner, but you have to have some sort of standard if you want to keep the relationship going for a long term, and if you want to be happy in that relationship. Once you have determined what kind of a woman do you want, next you're going to determine what kind of a man she would be attracted to. And it's really easy for you to determine that. Like, if she is a driven woman, if she has a purpose, then obviously she would want a man that is also more driven than her, that is more determined than her, that makes more money than her. Not because she's a gold digger, but just because she sees you as a leader. A woman always needs a man that leads her, at least a feminine woman. Not in a way that she needs him to protect her or needs him to tell her what to do and stuff like that. That's like stereotype masculinity. That's not what it is at all. She just needs a man that she believes she can put her faith into, a man that she can respect. Because if a woman is with a man that she cannot respect, she will continuously disrespect that man. For example, if you're not a driven man and you date a masculine woman, and she does and she works really hard on a job, and you're unemployed and you're sitting home, and she pays for your food, she pays for your video games, then she's not going to respect you. If she goes to the gym every single day and you're staying at home fat, chugging diet coke, and you're eating fucking pasta and pizza, she's not going to respect you. She's going to keep you as something that she can have sex with whenever she wants. That's a pathetic existence. I would not want to live like that. That's why you don't want to be superior to your woman. Not in a way to downplay her, not in a way to disrespect her, but just in a way that she can put her faith into you. She can trust you to lead the relationship in the right direction, to lead her into the right direction. She should be able to view you as an idol, as a figure that she can trust and rely on. Figure out all the traits that your woman would want in you. I want you to spend some time thinking about these questions. Maybe pause this video right now, think about these questions for a couple of days and come back. Or if you just want to watch this video in one go, which would be beneficial for me as well, because you're going to give me watch time. That is okay by me, absolutely. But please write down these questions right now. If you're thinking, no, I'm going to write them down after I'm done watching this video. If you still haven't gotten a piece of paper and a pen yet, bro, I have 100% faith in your failure. Until I started taking action, until I started to actually do stuff that was difficult, I did not even come close to achieving my goals. When I say this is extremely crucial for you to do right now, I mean it. You're not going to remember everything that I said tomorrow. You're going to forget all of it. Like, it's scientifically proven you cannot remember stuff like even 24 hours later, 12 hours later. You need to keep revising themselves. These questions are extremely important. This is about your life, bro. So I need you to remember them. Write them down on a piece of paper, write them down on a notebook, and look at them like a maniac. Look at them like a crazy fucking motherfucker. This is going to change your life, bro. Figure out all the answers to these questions. This is going to be the most. If you hired me for coaching right now, let's just take an example. I offer paid coaching, right? So if you hired me for coaching right now, this would be the first thing that I would make you do. This would be the first couple of days that I spend with you. This is the first thing that I would do. So this is that important. Do it right now. Pause the video and complete it. I'm assuming you have done. So you have at least written down all the questions. If you haven't, you're a pussy and a bitch. Watching this video is not going to do anything. You can click right off, fuck off. I don't care about you. But most likely you have written down all the questions. For that, I applaud you, bro, because you're better than, in my opinion, 98% of men who wouldn't even watch this video till the very end. So proud of you. Just a disclaimer. Don't be shy from writing detailed answers. There's no such thing as too long answer. We want that as long as you can. As I said, write things down as if you're like explaining them or you're reading them out to a 5-year-old. Be that clear, be that precise, and be that sure of whatever you're saying. Be extremely clear, because you'll be shocked at how much clarity you're going to create in your mind, how much untangling you're going to do in your proverbial wires of your brain once you write things down clearly. Extremely important. All right, next up, we're going to talk about goals. I'm going to help you set and achieve your goals. Let me be extremely clear. If I hadn't set goals, if I hadn't set them correctly, I would not have achieved any of them. This sounds very stupid to say out loud. Like, even to me, when I hear myself say this stuff, I sound very stupid. But most people are extremely pathetically dumb. Most people don't understand that unless you set a goal, you're not going to achieve it. The problem with goal setting, or the genre of goal setting on the internet, is that most YouTubers, most influencers on the internet are going to tell you to be either too ambitious or be practical and not ambitious at all. I disagree and agree with both of them. I do both. I set short term, still ambitious, but also practical goals on the short term. And by short term, I mean like a year or a couple 6 months. That's short term. And I also make like crazy ambitious goals for the long term. So 5 years, 10 years. That is my goal setting framework. That's basically how I do. So just to give you an example, my goal with this YouTube channel, just so you have some sort of clarity, was to gain was to get 10,000 subscribers in the first year, and that was ambitious. It is still ambitious because I'm 6 months in and I'm still at 700 subscribers. So I'm like 7% the way in. But just so we're clear, compounding happens in a way that you people probably will not understand. But in my head, compounding is going to happen. So if I'm just consistent with my content, if I'm posting valuable content, I can still hit that goal. So I'm still pretty confident that I'm going to hit that goal. Anyways, that is the kind of goal that I'm aiming for. So if my goal was to hit 1 million subscribers within my first year, that would have been a little too ambitious, probably not practical, not enough to drive me in a way that I'll be like waking up early and creating content every single day. Because in my head, that would be just impossible, right? So have a goal on the short term, meaning 6 months to 1 year goal. Have something that is still ambitious, but also practical, is possible, right? So, but to be very clear, an example of a practical goal that, in my opinion, I would have hit that would have not given me any drive whatsoever would be to gain 1,000 subscribers in my first year. In my opinion, if I keep posting content twice a week for a year, if I post anything whatsoever, I will get 1,000 subscribers. That is like, YouTube just rewards consistency like that, irrespective of what your content is like. But on top of that, if I create valuable content and if I actually nurture my audience, I believe I can hit my goal of hitting 10K subscribers. So hitting 10K subscribers is a little ambitious, but still practical for me. That is the kind of goal that you want. And the kind of long term goal that I have is to gain a couple million subscribers within the next 5 years. That is too ambitious, because most people will be posting for 7, 8, 10 years, and they'll be still at like 300K, 400, 500K, or they'll still be at 1 million subscribers at most. I'm aiming for like a bigger number that I don't want to disclose right now, but I'm aiming for a bigger number than, let's say, 1 or 2 million subscribers. So that is how I set my goals. This is just in terms of my YouTube journey. Similarly, I have goals for every other aspect of my life as well. This is kind of like a generalized framework for how I look at goals in terms of being too ambitious and being practical at the same time. So short-term goals, make them still a little bit out of your approach, a little bit out of your grasp, but make them practical, make them possible, so that you're not like dismissing them as impossible and you're not working towards them at all. Next, have a bigger long-term goal that you think is too ambitious, just fucking crazy. But that is what's going to drive you to make progress. When you see progress in you, like when you're hitting, like, I'll give you the YouTube example. When I see myself hitting 500 subscribers, when I see myself hitting 700 subscribers, I am more and more motivated for making these kinds of videos, giving value to you, right? When I see myself hitting these milestones, I'm more and more confident in my ability to hit that bigger goal, but also the smaller goal of hitting 10K subscribers and ultimately the bigger subscriber number that I'm thinking about. So have that big goal, because unless you have that more ambitious goal, you're not going to hit that. You are not. If you think you're going to get 1 million subscribers within the next 1 year, within the next 5, 10 years, you're going to get that. If you think I want 5 million, 10 million subscribers, you're still going to get that if you actually put in the work. But first step is to be fucking ambitious with your long term goals and be a little bit ambitious but still practical in your short terms. That's step number one. So in 2021, I had recently just dropped out of college and I had suddenly all the time in the world because I didn't have to go to college. I didn't have to study for any upcoming exam for going to college. I had decided that I'm going to drop out. So I had all the time in the world and I decided not to waste any. I spent time reading, learning skills, but more importantly, I wanted to start working on myself. So I listed out areas that I believed I needed to work on, that these were things that were really bothering me, or I believed that I really needed to work towards in order to achieve my like ultimate long-term goals, right? So you can call me a narcissist, you can say that I'm obsessed with my looks and shit, but I don't give a fuck. Here are things. Number one, stop hair thinning. So I was on the verge of going bald. I don't even have pictures of that particular time in my life because I was just so conscious about my hair. Every time I would just every time I would run my fingers through my hair, a lot of hair would fall off. And so I was on the verge of hair thinning. And I was really not okay with going bald. So that was the number one thing, stop hair thinning. Second was get clear skin because my skin was pathetic. I was still like at the last stages of my puberty. So I still have bad skin and I was also eating shit food. I was not taking care of my skin from external or internal sources at all. That was the second thing that I decided I'm gonna work towards because I looked at myself in the mirror and I did not like what I saw. That was the number second thing. Number three was I wanted to get an aesthetic physique because I looked like shit. I I had been working out since I was 13 and I still did not look like a person that has been working out for years. I needed to change that. I very genuinely was upset with my physique. I looked extremely skinny fat and I did not like that physique at all. I wanted to change that. Number four was start and grow a YouTube channel. This was not like a problem per se. This was not something that I was running away from or trying to solve. This is something that I wanted to do as a like skill. This is something that I wanted to use as a means to learn new skills, and also I wanted to like this would also help me in long term in terms of my career. So this is something that I wanted to start doing as well. Last thing was becoming more disciplined and consistent because this is something also I was struggling with. Back then, I still had a habit tracker. Probably have a habit tracker from back then, but I was not really consistent with anything that I wrote down on there. I was, although reading books, I was not reading them every single day. Although I was working out, I was not working out every single day or even consistently. Although was trying to build skills, I was trying to learn new skills. I was not consistent with any of these efforts. So I wanted to become a more disciplined and consistent man because being disciplined and consistent was the traits that I wanted in myself as a high value man. So these are all the areas that I decided I'm going to start working towards. These were my exact set of goals. Like this is extremely private information that I'm sharing with you right now, but these were my exact set of goals that I decided I'm going to start working towards with some inconsistent ones, meaning there were some goals that I injected in between while I was also working towards these big major goals. And I completed those goals within a couple of months. So I'm not really including those because I don't want to confuse you a lot. I don't want to overwhelm you with information as either. These were the major things that I put most of my energy and focus towards, and I achieved most of them. And I have made great progress towards the ones that I'm not yet achieved, right? You will notice one thing with all these goals right now that these are not super clear. These are not really goals either. If you have goals similar to these, just know that these are not really goals. These are just desires right now. Like stop hair thinning. What the fuck does that mean? Like I don't want to go bald. That's not a goal, right? That's a desire. That's something that I don't want to happen. So right now, these are not really goals, but this is first step towards achieving or setting your goals. You right now know what you want. That's a good step. Now you need to identify what are some things that you need to start doing in order to achieve these goals. This is called research and development, R&D. This is a big major part of creating an online business. Basically, this is an entrepreneur lingo. Basically, whenever you're building a course, whenever you're building an information product, or you're building a business, even you first do some research and then you develop your business or create your courses around that research you're doing, right? So this is a crucial step that you need to do. Believe it or not, obviously you're not building course, you're not building a business right now, but this can be directly implemented into your goal setting or your goal achievement process. I'll explain how in a minute. But believe it or not, this process of research and development took me a couple of months, because although I had a lot of information about regarding like all of these areas, I knew how to I kind of knew how to like prevent balding. Like I knew the basics, like don't shampoo every day and eat healthy food, eat a lot of protein, and drink a lot of water, take hair vitamin. I knew basic stuff, right? But I didn't know what was working for me. I didn't know what would work for me, what I was doing wrong. I had to discover all of that on my own, and that took a good couple of months, bro. And that's just one area of my life. That's just one of my goals. And obviously, the stuff that I knew was not working, because I still was struggling with hair thinning. I was going to go bald had I not done the things that I did. I would still be skinny fat if I didn't hadn't changed my lifestyle. So there's a lot of things that I was obviously doing wrong, or there's a lot of things that I obviously didn't know that I had to start doing in order to achieve my goals, right? You need to have that small little bit of humility and be like, I don't know anything. Teach me. And just go on to YouTube and go on to Google, read stuff, learn stuff, watch podcast, watch Andrew Huberman. He has great videos, very informative, very smart person. Watch his videos, learn from him about different areas of your life where you want to improve. This is going to take you a couple of months. I'm going to be honest, this entire process is very hectic, but I promise you, this, in my opinion, is the best way you're going to achieve your goals, because this is systematic. First, you identify your desire that you want to improve on, work towards. Then you identify the actionable steps by researching first, like the possible solutions. You have to determine these stuff, because unless you do, you're not going. Unless you know what to do, you're fine. Unless you know what you want, you cannot go get it, right? Unless you know how you can solve this particular problem, there is no way you're going to solve this problem, right? So this is systematic step-by-step process that you should be following if you want to get the results that you desire. This is step number 2 of goal achieving framework: research and development. Start identifying just the possible solutions, right? So I'll give you examples soon, but just identify the possible solutions, everything. Write this down in your notebook in all caps. List out all the possible solutions to your problems. I needed a foolproof system that would help me achieve and solve all of my problems or achieve all these goals. So I spent a very long time researching a lot of things, and I discovered possible solutions to all of my problems. Here is everything that is covered. So if you have like similar problems to me, or if you have similar goals to me, you can probably steal some of these things, or I can possibly save you some time that you're going to spend researching. So for my hair thinning problem, for the problem of me going fucking bald, I had to fix my DHT problem. I am not going to go too much in detail about what DHT is. Basically, it's dihydrotestosterone. It is the byproduct of testosterone. So basically, protein turns into amino acids, fat turns into fatty acids, carbohydrates turn into glycogen. You know all this stuff, right? Testosterone as a hormone turns into dihydrotestosterone. The basic, I'm not going to go too much in detail. This is not a how to stop hair thinning video. So just know that it's called dihydrotestosterone, right? I had to fix my DHT problem. This is what was causing my hair fall. Possible solutions were DHT blocking shampoo, oiling, Traya. There's a company called Traya that offers hair fall stopping treatments. I considered that as well. I used it as well. I could start using rosemary oil that would supposedly increase the blood flow in my scalp and as a result would improve my blood circulation, reduce the amount of hair fall. I could I could include conditioner in my hair to improve the quality of my hair, and I could use a leave-in conditioner. Second was skin. I had to repair, nourish, and enhance my skin. These were the three things that is covered I had to do in order to improve my skin, right? Possible solutions was getting a nice face wash, good diet, multivitamin, moisturizer, sunscreen, vitamin C serum, moisturizer with hyaluronic acid, all of these things. How to get an aesthetic body? Possible solutions were work out more often, obviously, eat more protein, eat less calories, I would get more lean, fix your breakfast. So I'm eating the same breakfast every single day. So I'm relatively consistent with my diet. Intermittent fasting. So I am pushing the two meals that I'm going to have. So my breakfast and dinner together so that I'm not going to be hungry in between meals, right? Because my meals are like positioned so closely together. And lift heavier, improve your workout split. These were the possible solution that is covered in terms of having building an aesthetic body. Start your YouTube channel. Firstly, I had to make my YouTube channel, decide my niche, decide what my target audience is going to be, decide a posting schedule. Possible solutions were start posting your live classes on YouTube. So if you don't know, when I started my YouTube journey, I was actually already an online coach of digital marketing. So basically, I was teaching people about digital marketing, teaching them about YouTube, about Instagram, about discipline, about chat GPT. I was teaching them a lot of stuff in terms of digital stuff. These were mostly like doctors and retired army officers and just old people in general who did not know a lot about technology. And I taught them A to Z about everything that they need to know in terms of building, like growing their business online. All of the traffic that they were generating was purely offline right now. So I got them a way of generating traffic or online as well. So I decided that I'm going to start posting live classes online on YouTube so that I could just push all of those people. So I could just share the videos on the YouTube channel, and the people who would not attend the live classes would have an option to attend to watch the live class as a recording on my YouTube channel. That would get me more traffic, more traffic onto my YouTube channel, increase my watch time, increase my number of views. So I would get a little bit of traffic on YouTube. That was my beginner strategy. Those videos are still on my YouTube channel, by the way, if you want to just check out what I was doing earlier. Last goal was become more disciplined and consistent. Possible solutions was build habits around what you want to be consistent with. Do things that you don't want to do. Keep a habit tracker. Why I included do things that you don't want to do. Basically, that's the bottom line of building discipline. Discipline is doing something that you don't want to do because you know it's going to help you in the long term. That is basically what discipline is. So this you will notice is a bit more detailed. This step is extremely important, and this step took me like a good couple of months. These are just possible solutions to your problems. Possible being the keyword here, because in the coming segments, I'm going to tell you and teach you exactly how you're going to determine the things that work for you. Because these are not all the things that I'm doing currently. These are not all the things that worked for me. Although I have edited out some things that were extremely stupid that I did anyway because I just wanted to see if anything worked. So I completely erased any information that I had previously about all of these things, and I was open to trying everything and determine what exactly works for me. This took me a good couple of months, so expect yourself to also spend a good couple of months with this step. This is extremely crucial. I would not blame you if you just click off this video, spend some time thinking about this, spend a couple of months researching about these topics, and then come back or just work on these on your own. Because even if you just take this one actionable step, it's going to change your life wonderfully. If you, however, decide that you're going to take action anyway, but you want to watch the rest of this video, Thank you, by the way. Thank you, first of all. But please take this actionable step. Write down all these things that I told you about. Think about this. Research, research in great detail. If you have goals similar to me, you can just steal the possible solutions that I had. I have no problem. And these are solutions that are possibly going to help you as well. The places that I would send you to in order to gain information regarding your goals is Andrew Huberman. Watch his podcast. Next is gonna be The Diary of a CEO. This is also a podcaster. Lastly, Chris Williamson. He is also a podcaster. These are going to be long format, very long, boring videos, but these are going to be jam packed with value, like life changing videos. So go to these three YouTube channels and research all you want about everything that you want to know. Most likely, you're going to figure out solutions within a couple of videos because I had to like figure out these sources for my own. I had to figure out my exact problem. I'm basically dumber than you. So it took me a long time. You can probably figure out in like your first 20, 30 videos that you watch. And these are like hour to 3 hours long videos. So it's going to take you time still. Still expect this to take a couple of months, but you're probably not going to be like 3, 4, 5, 6 months into this process. You're going to do this probably in like 2, 3 years. So just be aware that it's going to take time, right? If you want my further involvement into this process of you setting and achieving your goal, basically, if you want me to hold your hand and walk you through all these processes step by step, you can book a call with me for an hour for just 300 rupees. And if you're not satisfied by the end of the call, I'll just give you your money back. And I will make sure that you understand everything. I will explain everything to you immense like a child, and I will make sure that you're doing all the actionable steps correctly. If you're interested, is the second link in the description. And there's really no risk to it at all. Like I'll give you your money back on the call. You just tell me that you're not satisfied or you want your money back. I'll just give it back to you. No questions asked. All right. So the next step is to determine what kind of man you want to be. And I know I've touched upon this topic earlier in this video, but this is so important. I'm talking about this. This is extremely important because unless you have a persona that you're working towards, you cannot get there, right? Unless you have a dream physique that you're aiming for, you cannot get there. So, in order for you to have a goal for the person that you want to become, you want to become the best version of yourself, right? You need to first identify what that person is. Do this visualization with me, close your eyes. And it's okay, you can keep playing the video, just close your eyes right now. Listen to my voice. Imagine what kind of a man you are 10 years from now or 20 years from now. Let's be safe. What kind of a woman do you have by your side? How big are your arms? What kind of a watch are you wearing? How good looking are you? What kind of a clothes are you wearing? What kind of a car do you have? What kind of a house do you have? Do you have kids? What are your kids doing? What other traits that you have? What is your daily routine? Open your eyes, bro. I'm probably extremely lucky because I did this practice like a couple of years ago. So when I was like 17, 18, most men will never do this. Most men will never be able to identify what kind of a man they want to be. As a result, they will never reach anywhere. They'll just stay stagnant, be the person they are right now. Most men are just overgrown kids. You don't want to be that. So, in order for you to do that, in order for you to become the best version of yourself, you need to first list out all the things that matter to you, that you want to see in your future self. And you can be ambitious. You can be like, I am. You obviously don't be like I'm 6'7" or some bullshit like that. You can't work towards growing your height, right? But you can be ambitious. You can be like, I have big fucking biceps. You can be like, I have six pack abs. You can be like, I have a Bugatti. Just list out all the things. Here is my own personal list, and I'm gonna be honest. Like this is very personal to me, and it might get me cancelled. It might give me hate, but I just don't care. I want to help you out. I believe this will help you out, give you more clarity, and I'll just tell you I don't care. In terms of women, I have a 10 on 10 beautiful wife. She has a 10 on 10 body. She's sanskari. She wears a lot of traditional clothes and also wear decent clothes when she's not wearing traditional stuff. That is not too revealing. She's smart, she's giggly, she's funny and playful, she cares about family and God, respects me and my work, isn't insecure or jealous, and also she finds me like attractive as fuck, but that's given. She finds me hot. So that's number one. Number two, house. With a swimming pool and a jacuzzi and a big lawn with lots of animals. So kind of like a farmhouse, but like a modern contemporary farmhouse with a swimming pool and a jacuzzi and stuff like that. I feel stupid talking about this stuff. In terms of car, I don't give a fuck. I honestly, if I have a truck, I'll be fine. Like I don't care about cars. In terms of money, I want to be a deca millionaire. Deca millionaire is basically I want to be having a net worth of more than $10 million. In terms of traits, I want to be hardworking, disciplined, consistent, humble, respectful. I delay gratification and I'm patient. In terms of business, I want to have an online community where I coach, have courses, and give people accountability and teach them how to. And I market all the stuff through YouTube and Instagram. This is more or less what mine is. I want you to do this for yourself as well. Once you're done, come and continue this video. So I want you to do this right now. Don't leave this for later on. Don't even think that you're going to do this you're done after you're done watching this video, or do you have to do it tomorrow? You won't. Do it right now. Pause this video. I'll give you this list of mine in the description, or maybe I'll leave you like a Notion template link where I'll give you all this stuff and you can just see and just write down your own equivalent stuff. But make this list of your own right now. So, woman, house, car, money, traits, business. These are extremely important. At least this is the level of clarity that you need to have. This will determine what kind of life you're aiming for, that you're going to build. Unless you have a clarity, unless you can see it every day in your mind, you will not be driven towards working towards it. So pause this video and do it right now. This is probably the most important segment from the entire video. I want you to right now look at the women section of your little notes that you just created, right? You remember how I told you 10 out of 10 beautiful, 10 out of 10 body? If you have written anything less than 10 out of 10, then you're just not confident enough, bro. You just don't believe in yourself enough. You just don't think you deserve a 10 out of 10. So if you've written anything less than that, it it is okay. It is fine because that means you're honest with yourself. That is a good thing. But it is also, I need you to understand that your goal should not, this is not your final list, right? This is not going to be your end goal. Your end goal is to, when you make this list again a year from now, 2 years from now, it's to keep increasing these numbers. So if you've written an 8 out of 10 women, your your goal should be to next year write down 10 out of 10 women or 9 out of 10 women. That should be a goal. So your standards for women as you keep improving should also keep improving. Otherwise, you'll just be dating like beyond, like below your league. That is not advice for a man. So just be mindful of that little note. Secondly, congratulations. You've just taken action. In my opinion, or in my view, you're superior to like 98% of the men that will watch this video. Most will not even complete this video, but the few that will never do anything related to that. And among the few that will watch this video till the end is you, who actually took action. So I'm proud of you. You've taken action. Now, what I want you to do is imagine that the woman that you've created in your notes, that you've written down, manifested in front of you. Just imagine that she is standing in front of you right now. She came out of the notebook that you've written down in, and she's standing in front of you right now. Would she find you attractive? Would she want you? Probably not. If you're honest with yourself, if you're not like hoping and you're not scared of accepting your own inadequacies, then probably not. At least for me, she didn't. Like, she didn't even look at me. I did this practice like years ago, and she did not even look at me, bro. So chances are your ideal woman is not going to look at you either, and that's okay because that means you have a lot of room for improvement, a lot of things that you can improve on. Imagine she's standing in front of you. Now think, because this will give you, this is a psychological practice that will help you further identify the traits that you need in a man. Now think, how would she find you attractive? What do you need to be in order to attract this specific woman? And write them down in your traits that you need in yourself in order to attract them. Write them down. And don't worry, I didn't get the traits of the man that I want to become right at the first try either. So it's okay if you got them wrong. So reevaluate your list and now make a better, bigger, more clearer, and more descriptive list of the traits, physical attractiveness, everything. Right? Everything now. Out of all these traits that you're going to list, out of the everything that you're going to talk about in terms of the man that you need to become in order to attract this beautiful woman in front of you, there is going to be some things that are going to be the high leverage, some are going to be low leverage. So that means that there are going to be some things that the woman will not compromise with. For example, she 100% would require a masculine man that is a leader, that is respectful, that is in great shape, that is attractive. These are like no, these are crucial things that she will not like compromise on, right? These are things that are going to be the highest leverage. You need to work on these things. For you, they can be different. For me, these were the things. Like I need to be masculine, need to be in great shape, need to be need to up my physical attractiveness. These are things that I needed to work on. For you, they can be different, but list out the highest leverage things, the things that she will not compromise on. These are the things that you need to obsess over. And I know this sounds shallow because you're like working towards becoming a man that would be able to attract a woman. Like you're doing all this for a woman. We're not doing this for a woman. Women is a metaphor. She is just there to give you direction, give you a sense of purpose, because most men are driven like that. Most men want women. Most men want a gorgeous woman by their side. And that's why they work extremely exceptionally hard. So that's a good motivation for you. And that will give you a great level of clarity. That will also keep you in check so you don't sway away from your path. So this is great practice, but just know that you're not doing this for the woman itself. She will come, you will be able to attract her, but this is we're not doing this for her. You're doing this for yourself in order to become the best version of yourself. And by default, you're going to attract the best version of the woman that you can. So that all happens on accident, but basically you are working for yourself right now. So now you have all the traits, and out of all those traits, you now have the highest leverage traits that you need to start working towards. For me, these were traits that I listed out earlier on. So being disciplined, being hardworking, being respectful, being humble, being able to delay gratification, being patient. All of these things were traits that I needed to that are required in order to attract the woman that I wanted to. And these are the traits that I wanted to see in myself in order to be able to look myself in the mirror and be respect and like have respect for myself and be proud of the man that I've created. I fucking obsessed over these. I made it my life's mission, and I still have made it my life's mission to become this person to install all these traits in myself. Because I now have one with 100% certainty can say, once I achieve all these things, I will be the best version of myself. Imagine you're in the multiverse. You've seen Doctor Strange, right? Imagine you're standing in the multiverse, you looking through a Doctor Strange portal, and you see yourself, the best version of yourself. I just see myself. Like I'm on the path of becoming that person, but I just see myself in the future. So, in order for you to also experience this kind of a sensation, this feeling of being proud of yourself, being able to look at yourself and just have respect for your younger self, it's beautiful, it's amazing. And the only way to do that is through all of these steps that I listed out. Fucking obsess over this. This is crucial. The most important thing that I can teach you so far. So as I told you earlier, I'm sorry I got into like a different direction. I really needed to emphasize on you being extremely exceptionally clear on the traits that you need to have in order to become the best version of yourself. But now let's go back to the goal setting framework. It took me good couple of months to identify the actionable steps, the possible solutions, possible actionable steps that I would require to do in order to achieve my goals. And I spent the next couple of months experimenting with all of these things. So I told you all the possible actionable steps that I thought I would do in order to achieve my goals, right? I spent the next couple of months, so at least 90 days, I would say, trying to figure out what works best for me. And you will notice how my goals are slowly becoming more clear and they're going from simple desires to now actionable steps that I can do daily in order to get me closer to my goals, right? So this is the conversion that you need to do. This is the slow evolution of your goals that will help you achieve them. So next step is to literally convert these into actionable steps. The one thing is extremely crucial that you do prior to this, by the way. The possible solutions that you're going to identify, you need to try them out for a couple of months first. Because unless you do that, you will not know what works best for you, what doesn't work. So you will not be able to eliminate the stuff that is bullshit, and you will not be able to identify what exactly works for you either. So you won't really have a system in place, you won't have a actionable step. So unless you do this step, which is to identify what works for you, you will the next step is like completely irrelevant. So do that first. Write down in your notes, I will figure out what works for me and what doesn't in the next couple of months. So write down for the next 90 days. And then let's move on. The next step after that is to literally convert these into actionable steps that you need to do daily in order to progress in your goal, in order to keep the progress that you're making, or just achieve your goal. Okay. So in terms of stopping my hair from thinning, I discovered that I tried everything. I tried doing Traya, the hair care company. I did that. I tried literally everything. I don't remember everything, but I did everything, all of those. And I came to the conclusion that minoxidil and finasteride solutions worked before sleeping, did great. Like they stopped my hair for at all, or like altogether. I am not giving hair thinning solutions right now. So if you have like hair thinning problems, don't just take this. This is not medical advice. These are chemicals that have like side effects. So don't just start doing these things because I said so. Second was conditioning my hair daily. Third was leave-in conditioner daily, no shampooing, eating multivitamin, and just consuming lots of vitamins through natural sources. So eating like healthy seeds and fruits and nuts and stuff like that. Next, in terms of improving my skin, was eating lots of protein, or at least more protein than I was eating previously. Then eating no sugar and fried food, and using face wash, moisturizer, vitamin C serum, and maybe sunscreen before I would go out. This improved my skin completely. This is something that I would recommend you do. There's like no risk to any of these things. Maybe be careful about using vitamin C serum because they can be like some people are allergic to that. Some people it can be a little bit. This can cause a bit of a irritation to your skin, so be careful about that. Third, in terms of having an aesthetic physique, work out every day, eat more protein, eat less calories, lift heavy for building strength, improve your split. And I improved my split from a simple push pull legs to a modified version of push pull legs. Right now, the split that I'm doing currently is push pull legs and abs, shoulders, push pull legs and abs. That is what I do. That is how I work out. Post weekly classes every Sunday. Put the link in the group so that they can watch and increase watch time. This was in terms of starting and growing my YouTube channel. Lastly, have a habit tracker. This is for my goal of building discipline and building consistency. That is, have a habit tracker, use motivation and knowledge from books, build habits around what you want to be consistent with. This is how you want your goals to look like. Don't have goals like, I want to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That's bullshit. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of variables that are not in your control. Me, God forbid, don't want this to happen, but like, God forbid, something happens in your family, maybe someone close in your family passes away. You're not going to be able to post content for a month straight or a couple of months at least. Maybe you quit YouTube altogether. That is not a sustainable goal to have, because you don't have any actionable steps. When you have daily actionable steps, you just have like a small goal. Every single day you have to simply create a video or script a video, edit a video. You have very systemized actionable steps that you have to do daily in order to complete them. Your brain doesn't require easy stuff. Your brain just requires simple steps. So don't complicate anything and your brain will most likely cooperate. So by giving your brain actionable steps to do, you're more or less focusing on the process, on the journey instead of the destination. So you're more likely to stick to the process altogether. Once you achieve all of these little superficial things that you want to achieve, like I have achieved most of these things, you can then start to use this to achieve more complex and more meaningful things that you want to achieve. For example, instead of developing habits, you can start to work towards developing traits. Traits are extremely hard to develop as a man, because a habit is basically just a cue for your brain. It's very easy to create habits. It takes time. It's hard for you to start building a habit, but once you get into the rhythm, once you understand how to build a habit, which I'm going to talk about how next, it's not really that hard. Developing traits, however, it's basically changing your base level instinct. You're changing your mentality, you're changing your basic behavior, human behavior. You're basically changing your instinct, so you think in a different way and you behave in a different way. That takes a lot of time, that takes a lot of repetition, but that is what creates a high value man. So eventually your goal should be to build so many habits that you slowly start to develop traits around them. So a habit would be to post a video on YouTube every single day. A trait would be to be consistent at anything in life. That is a trait. You can say that I go to the gym every single day. That is just a habit. But if you can say that I am consistent or I am disciplined in the gym, that is a trait. That means you put extreme amounts of effort and you actually exposed yourself to discomfort in order to develop that trait. That is a true sign of masculine and a high value man. Slowly transition yourself into developing more high value and more complicated and more valuable traits and habits. The next two segments of this video is going to be extremely small and extremely straightforward and simple, because that was the big chunk of the entire video. This is just going to be the stuff that is going to aid your journey. The next segment is building habits. You need to understand these three aspects of building habit. Once you understand this, you will be building and breaking habits in no time. It's going to be extremely easy for you to do so. First is cue or a trigger. Second is action or the act or the habit itself. Last is reward. Let me explain with an example. So I work out every single day, right? How I built the habit of working out every single day. I have an alarm that rings exactly at 5:25 p.m. And every single day when that alarm clock rings, my brain is triggered or is cued into start packing my gym bag, put on my gym clothes and wear my shoes and start walking towards the gym. I do that automatically irrespective of what I feel. Even if I have previously thought that I don't want to go to the gym, When as soon as the alarm rings, I just automatically start packing my gym bag. That's because I've built a habit around that cue or a trigger. And that cue or a trigger is extremely important because that leads to the second point, that is action or the habit itself. The action is not going to the gym, that would be super easy. The action is going to the gym and working out the entirety of the habit. So once I've completed my workout and I look myself in the mirror and I see my pumped physique and I'm posing in front of the mirror and I'm looking at myself like a narcissist and I feel proud of the physique that I've built, that is the reward. So the reward solidifies or associates the cue with the action. What that means is that you're rewarding yourself for doing a certain activity after your brain receives a particular stimulus from the outside world. Stimulus is basically anything, like any outside external information. So as soon as the alarm rings, which is the cue, I go to the gym and I work out, which is the action, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I feel proud of the physique that I've built. That is the reward. Once you have all these three aspects in check for every single habit that you want to build, you'll be building habits like that. After you have these in check, you only need to be doing this over and over again. The more you do this, the more solid you're going to build the habit. One thing I want to emphasize on is that habits are built when you do them consistently over and over and over again every single day. So make it a commitment, not a promise. So build a habit of waking up early, right? If you want to wake up early, set an alarm clock and wake up early. And right after you wake up, look yourself in the mirror and say, good job. You fucking woke up today. Good job. Good for you, bro. And that would complete your entire habit circuit. This is what I call a habit circuit. Once you have completed the habit circuit, you can be sure that this habit is solidified. Do this over and over again daily for the rest of your life. That is how you build an habit. I know I didn't really expand a lot on this because there's really no secret to this. That is how you build a habit, bro. There's no secret, there's no hidden information, there's no additional information that you need. Everything else that you hear on the internet, everything else that I tell you even is unnecessary, honestly. Now I'm going to help you with the consistency because you need to be consistent with this in order to make it a habit. In my opinion, you only need to understand two concepts or two tools in order to master consistency. The first thing is something called eat the frog. If you've been following me for a while, you know I preach this a lot. The basic concept behind this, don't worry if you're watching this for the first time, I'm going to explain this. The basic concept behind the phrase eat the frog is I learned this phrase from a book called Discipline is Destiny by Ryan Holiday. The basic concept behind this is if I were to offer you the greatest meal of your life, whatever you want right in front of you, free to eat, whatever you want to eat. But the only condition is that you have to eat a raw, alive frog along with it. And the only option you have is you can either eat it before your meal or after the meal. When would you eat it? Any smart person, any person that is not a complete degenerate and a dumbass, will say that they will probably eat it before the meal because then you can kind of cleanse your planet with the tasty food that you're going to eat afterwards. If you decide to eat it afterwards, you're going to be stressed while you eat that good food. You're going to look at the frog and you're going to be stressed about that frog, about the fact that you have to eat that frog, right? So you're not really going to be able to enjoy the food either. And you're going to leave the entire experience with the taste of that disgusting raw frog in your mouth, right? So that's not ideal. You're probably a smart person, so you chose to eat the frog beforehand. So you're gonna leave the entire experience feeling good because the last thing that you're gonna remember is the taste of the good food in your mouth, right? This is a metaphor. The entire phrase, the entire concept is a metaphor. If you would choose to eat that disgusting frog prior to your enjoyable meal or the good thing, right? Why would you not do the same thing with your tasks for the day? So you probably procrastinate a lot, right? You probably have a problem with procrastination. This will solve it. This will solve it completely. This is just a mindset shift. Think of your entire day as that meal along with the frog, right? You're choosing every single day to eat that frog after the meal, or you keep pushing that frog away. You're like, I'll eat it tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, next week, next month. You're gonna eat that frog sometime, right? You're going to have to. Might as well eat it right now so you can enjoy the tasty food later on. The tasty food signifies the good things in your day. So this, even though this is enjoyable for me, this still is like work. I do this first thing in the morning. I script my videos first thing in the morning. Whenever I have to, uh, whenever I have to edit a lot of videos, I do them first thing in the morning so that I can just be done with it. So the most disgusting, the most difficult task of the day is done with the first thing, and then I'm only left with the more enjoyable things that I can later do, and I can just be relaxed that the most difficult and the most disgusting part of the day is done with. When you tackle every single task, every habit, every difficult situation with this mindset, you're going to find it extremely easy to actually take action. Most people procrastinate because they think I can just keep pushing it away. They keep punishing their future self. If instead of that, you think of your future self as you, because you're going to become that future person, if you think of yourself as that, then you're going to be better off than majority of the population, bro. Instead of punishing your future self, actually gift your future self. Be like, I'll do the difficult work so that you don't have to. I will delay gratification so that you can actually be gratified. Once you shift your mindset like that, your life is going to become so much easier, bro. That's the first thing that I have to give you in terms of consistency. Because when you get the most difficult thing done early on in the day, there's nothing to procrastinate. I want you to keep this eat the frog task, keep this the highest leverage task. Whatever is the most important thing for you right now, if it's business, even if it is studies, do it the first thing in the morning before even others have woken up. This is the only way to win that I found. Number second is keeping a habit tracker. I have consistently been keeping a habit tracker for at least a year now. At least a year now. What a habit tracker is, basically it's a piece of paper that you stick up on a wall or a mirror somewhere where you can see it all the time, every single day. Basically, on the top side, you write all the habits, and on the margin side, you write down all the dates for a particular month that you want to keep the habit tracker for. Every single date that you do a particular habit, you put a tick mark, and on the day that you don't do a particular habit, you put a cross mark. And simply doing this will automatically improve your consistency. Just doing this, just keeping a habit tracker, just making sure that you do put a tick mark on the days you do a habit and putting a cross mark on the days you don't. Just doing this will immensely improve your consistency. If you don't believe me, do it for a month and you'll see the changes. This is all that I have to give you in this particular video. I could explain more about the habit tracker, but I don't want to make this video extremely long. And honestly, if you found value until this point, you will probably make the habit tracker anyway. That is all I have to give you. All the value that I had to provide in this video. If you found value in this content, I am pretty sure you're going to find value in an ebook that I wrote. It's completely free. You don't even have to give me your email. It's the first link in the description. You can go check it out if you like to. I'm building a community of high value men or men who want to become high value. If you think you're one of them, subscribe to my channel right now because I'm posting daily videos for the next 30 days and you don't want to be missing out on any of the videos. So subscribe to my channel right now so my videos can find you more easily and I can help you in your own self-improvement journey by videos just like this. I'll see you tomorrow.